In this video, I'm breaking down everything that's going on with China and luxury brands from a marketing perspective. I got my marketing hat on. So if you want to know what's going on with all these Chinese manufacturers and why they're exposing all these luxury good brands, make sure you like this video, thumbs it up, share it with your friends, and watch to the very end. Let's go. Why is China exposing the luxury brands? Because they're in business with each other, right? Why would they expose what's really going on in the rate that customers might see what's going on and decide they no longer want to purchase from luxury brands anymore? I got the article right here. Let's go through it. It says, President Donald Trump announced he's increasing tariffs on Chinese manufactured goods, setting the rate at a whopping 145% in about 90 days. As a result, China decided to retaliate and hit the U.S. with an increase to and raise their tariffs on our goods to 125%. And in my personal opinion, I feel like China is outing out the luxury brands to get back at Trump for raising the tariffs and to cut out the middleman, allowing them to make more money and have a better consumer to manufacturer relationship intact, so that consumers like you and me don't have to worry about paying quadruple the price for luxury items. We can go straight to the Chinese manufacturer and get it at a lower rate and give them a higher price and sale and a higher return on sale. You get what I'm saying? They'll no longer have to split profits between themselves and a luxury brand that they're making these items for. Be able to retain complete profit for themselves by having a direct manufacturer to consumer relationship, therefore allowing them to make even more money and tell Trump to screw his tariffs. Now, me being a marketing professional, because y'all know I'm a marketing professional. I have my marketing degree, my bachelor's, by the way, and I'll be done my master's in the fall. And I feel like I'm the perfect person to chime in on this because I've just been scrolling on social media and shocking in disbelief and watching videos on YouTube, and I just cannot believe what I heard. Now, while I am shocked this is what's happening, I am not shocked from a marketing perspective. Was luxury an illusion created by brands to market to consumers who want to live a luxury lifestyle? Luxury brands have caught the stray bullet in this tariff war because all the Chinese manufacturers on social media are exposing them. Let's get into it. Apparently, there has been several Chinese manufacturers hopping online to out some of the luxury brands that you may know. Any luxury brand that you can think of, they've outed them on social media. And essentially, they're saying that, hey, we're the ones that's really making this product, and they're only sending it to Europe to get the finishing details on it so that they can have it meet the made in Italy or made in Europe criteria that they know sells in terms of marketing. Now, put your marketing hat on. Historically, people have always viewed products from China as cheaply made, cheap costs, very cheap. China has a history of being cheap, which is perfect for businesses, but not perfect for consumers because consumers look at Chinese products as cheap. Look at Temu, look at Shein. Yes, these brands are very popular, but their products are cheaply made and cheap just in general. And honestly, made out of polyester. But that's a video for another day. I just dropped a polyester video and why I don't like polyester. So if you want to go check her out, go clock in. Go watch. And catch up on why I don't like polyester. But to segue, China has a reputation of producing cheap and low quality products. This is why this expose is such a big reveal, because these people who have luxury brands, they're thinking it's coming from Italy and somewhere exotic in Europe, and whole time it's being made in China, sent over to Europe, sent back to America, and they make you pay for it. They make you pay for it. So something that may have cost them $40 to make, maybe even a couple dollars to make, they're charging you quadruple the price for it. So let's say, for example, this foundation. It cost me to make this foundation $1 in China. You could say the glass, they cost the glass maybe $2 to be made, XYZ. Altogether, it takes me like $3, $4 to make this product. I'm not saying this is true. I'm just using this as an example. It may take me $3 to $4 to make this product. And then now it's in my store. I'm going to charge you $80 for it. when in reality it only costs a couple bucks to make, but I'm going to charge you $80 for it because I need to increase my profit margins. And when I look at that, I think of greed. That's literally greed, because consumers and brands should be able to trust one another, right? Brands should be able to trust consumers to purchase the products that they value, that they need. And in return, customers should be able to trust that brands are not taking advantage of them just because they want said product. And that's funny because, like I'm told you guys before, I'm taking one of my final classes is in ethics, and if it follows the American Marketing Association guidelines. And honestly, if I had to rate this on an ethical scale, I would say it's extremely unethical, because there's no reason why you're charging consumers $4,000 for a bag that costs $40. That is the epitome of corporate greed. And I am thankful that I've never been a luxury brand type of person, because just imagine if I'm the type of person to say, I got all these name brands, and come to find out these products aren't worth what I paid. Like, I get it. Me, out of all people, get the gift of gab because I am a marketer. But before I got into marketing, I was under the sole belief that these prices were these prices because they were made out of high quality, because they were worth the quality that they were charging you, and they just had to get a little piece from the back end so they can cover their expenses and keep pushing. No, there's a reason why these brand owners are rich, stinking rich. And it's because they are taking advantage of their consumers. Now, if it costs you $1,000 to make the bag and you want to charge me $4,000, do your thing, Boogie Boo. Do your thing, Boogie Boo. I get it. But the fact that they're seeking out the most cheapest cost and the most cheapest materials, and granted, the materials may not even be cheap, but they are not worth what you're charging. There's a reason brands do business in China, and then they cover it up with the Europe and the other tags to make it look more appealing to the consumer. Because you as a consumer, would you pay $4,000 for something that you knew was made in China? Granted, personally, I have nothing against China. I'm not the target audience anyway, because I don't believe in just paying for something just because if I feel like it doesn't have any true value or brings any value to my life. That's why I've never been the type of person to drop $5,000 on the bag, because I just feel like I could do so much more with that $5,000. I could invest it into my business. I could go back to school, buy a class with that money. It's just so many things I see myself doing that I can't justify swiping my card for $5,000. Had I been that person that was pressed over materialistic things and obtaining material possessions, I would be highly disappointed to find out that a bag that I paid $4,000 for was really only $40. And I think that's interesting because there are so many people that pride themselves on what they wear in their labels. And sometimes they even put down other people for not being able to afford said label. But in reality, you're getting scammed. You're paying for a name. And I think that's essentially what the Chinese manufacturers were trying to reveal by exposing luxury brands in this way, is the fact that you're literally only paying for a name, an LLC. These products are not worth what you are buying them for. And now I just look kind of at it like a scam. And will this be the downfall of luxury items? We may never know. But it's just interesting to me that because Trump raised the tariffs for China, that now the Chinese manufacturers are speaking up. And it's actually a smart choice on their play, because outing their vendors give consumers the ability to go straight to the business and buy straight from them. We have these luxury brands upcharging products and charging asinine prices because there's a middleman. But if consumers are able to go directly to the vendors and get the same styles that they love from the luxury brands, but just are no longer willing to be overcharged for it anymore, it's going to give consumers power. And it's also going to give the manufacturers power. If we have a direct manufacturer to consumer like relationship forming, Companies will no longer be able to get over consumers. They will no longer be able to scam them with prices and hide the vendors, but then charge whatever price they want to. From a business standpoint, a business, if they have a product, they want it to be as cheap as possible to produce that product, keep the cost as minimal as possible so that they can make the most profit in return and increase their profit margins. Now, and it gets to a point, because if they have marketers like me on their team, they know exactly what they're doing. Because when you think about it, people want to be a part of this status. They want to be a part of the higher class. They want to be deemed as on just a certain type of level. You know, people like to try to keep up with the Joneses. And if you don't know what that means, they essentially will buy certain things to be a part of a certain class or to appear as if they're a part of a certain class. So the gag of it all is the fact that you're paying this money to show that you have money. In reality, it didn't even cost them any money to create that product. It's ultimately a mind blow, because all of it is technically an illusion to keep you spending money, to keep you buying, to keeping you striving to be able to afford these things, when in reality, it didn't cost them anything to have them made. That's a little bit crazy. And you got to think, how do the rich become rich? Now, you do probably have some ethical billionaires. That's not my business to say. But looking at this, just this one case, it lets you know that they are willing to go lengths to confuse you, to make you feel like you're buying something that you're ultimately not. Because it would be no problem if these products were made in China and they were openly still charging $4,000 because that's what it costs to make these products. That's not the case. They are going to China because they know they can get the products cheaply made there, send it to Europe, add a little button, add a little zipper, throw the made in Europe tag on it, and charge you $4,000. And I'm using $4,000 as a reference point. But sometimes these luxury items cost more than that. So when you put that into consideration, you have to start to question and ask yourself, am I being ripped off? Is luxury an illusion? Do you buy luxury items? Are you someone who likes to splurge on products? What type of shopper are you? Were you surprised by any of the information that the Chinese manufacturers revealed? Let me know. I want to hear you guys' thoughts below. But it really makes you sit up there and think, is luxury an illusion? Because what is luxury? Let's look up the definition. What is luxury? Let's look it up right now. What is luxury? Luxury is the state of great comfort and extravagant living. Okay. So, I mean, the prices are extravagant, but the quality is not. So it makes you think, was luxury an illusion created by brands to market to consumers who want to live a luxury lifestyle? It's all based on status. It's all based on social class. Because think about it. Why do people purchase luxury items? Is it because they genuinely like the luxury items, or they want people to perceive them as being luxurious, high earning, high status, higher class? Is it a societal statement piece, or is it really luxurious because of the quality? And because of these Chinese manufacturers coming out and saying what they said, you have to question the quality. Now, I did see a video on TikTok that said something along the lines of China gets their products from Africa, and these products are made from African leather. Just a quick research, and yes, Africa is one of the producers of the material. Once again, even if something was made in Africa, that sounds more luxurious to me, because they have even tried to paint Africa as this poor, impoverished country when all the resources that are deemed as luxury was taken from Africa. So I don't know if the Chinese manufacturers are going through the right channels to get the African suppliers, or if they are doing unethical practices to obtain the materials. But that is something that was also mentioned in the expose of luxury brands, is the fact that China goes to Africa to get the materials to make the goods out of. So when you think about it in that way, it's a lot of scamming going on, because my whole life I was painted as Africa was this poor country, and now for these luxury goods, it's made out of African leather. Diamonds. What are diamonds made of? They're from Africa. Now, they have figured out ways to get diamonds without hurting anyone, which is the lab creative diamond. When I get married, I'll probably definitely get a lab created diamond, because I'm a sustainable queen. I don't like having to disturb the environment or hurt people just to consume goods. I feel like that's a waste. I ultimately feel like it's a waste. So when I get my diamond, it's going to be lab grown. But it doesn't take away from the fact that our whole lives we have been convinced that China was cheap and made cheap products, and that Africa was poor. And all of that was to pander into the idea of America is luxury. Europe is luxury. You literally just got goods from the countries that have the worst labels in terms of quality and financial status, and you're hustling off the backs of those countries to produce and sell a bag that was originally maybe $40 to make, but now you're charging $4,000. What? That's confusing to me. It's shocking to me. Even as a marketer, it's shocking to me, because I know how it works. I know that you buy low so you can sell higher, but I didn't know they was doing it like that. They were lying to us in the process. And I want to ask you a question. Why isn't more products made in America? Is America too high in labor? Like, because I can imagine if you have warehouses in America, the labor force is not going to let you get away with just paying them the bare minimum. There is laws in place for that. And that's probably why brands seek out cheap labor in China, because they don't want to exuberate those costs. And it's just crazy to me, because if we just focused on quality instead of getting the most money and squeezing out the most money from one piece of product, I feel like we would be in a better state. And it may not be as many people that are super duper rich, but at least the wealth would be distributed amongst everybody. Now, like I said, me personally, I do not buy luxury like that. But if we have factories in America where luxury goods were being made, that would open up jobs for people to make money, to make a living. And they're developing a skill, how to make a bag, how to do this, how to do that. Keeping all the labor in China and the production and the manufacturing, that's robbing U.S. civilians of being able to pick up new trades and even pick up a check, make more money. It's all rooted in greed. It's literally rooted in greed. And if these brands could focus just on the quality of things and not just finding the cheapest route possible to make things, it would make buying luxury feel more like luxury, instead of me getting this bag and the quality is not 100% there, but they just swapped the price tag on it because that's just how they done it for so long. I just feel like it's crazy. And while I am shocked as a consumer, I am not shocked from a marketing perspective. And I feel like I've said that 50 gazillion quadrillion times, but it's just the fact that, like, dang, this is what y'all doing? Just for a little check? I mean, granted, it ain't a little check if they making millions, billions on it. They multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar companies. But it's like they literally made those millions and billions and whatever from conning their consumers. Sit on that. They made these millions from conning consumers. And like, I know a lot of people say, we already knew this, we already knew that. Everybody didn't. Me included. And I think I didn't know because I don't pay attention to luxury goods. But as an influencer, as a content creator, when these topics pop up on my For You page and pop up on YouTube, and I have knowledge on it, I feel like it's my need to speak up and break it down to you how this marketing stuff really works, because they're only swapping out the label because they know that China has a reputation of being cheap and consumers are not likely to purchase made in China products for $4,000, $5,000 because of the reputation that China has. So it's just interesting. It's really interesting. And I actually find the manufacturer's perspective very interesting, to say the least, because of the increase of tariffs that Trump is proposing on China as a country. The manufacturers like, whatever, I don't even want to make products for them no more. Come straight to me. You want a Louis Vuitton looking bag, but you don't want to pay Louis Vuitton prices? Come holla at me. You want a Gucci bag, but don't want to pay Gucci prices? Come holla at me. You want Lululemon, but don't want to pay Lululemon prices? Come holla at me. And me personally, when it comes to Lululemon, I heard a lot of controversy about them. While I don't know if it's true or not, I heard through the grapevine that they don't value diversity and inclusion, which made me step away from them and not even be interested in trying anything they have to offer. And that's another thing. Anytime brands give me the ick or make me feel like they're not inclusive or like they may not want me in particular to buy their clothes, girl, you ain't got to worry about me. I go where I'm valued, I go where I'm loved, and I go where I'm showcased. So it's just funny because a lot of these luxury brands are not supposed to be inclusive up to all. Why do you think they set those prices for those products? They want to attract a certain demographic and they want to get that profit margin up. So it's 2 and 2. They go hand in hand. So that's why I had to sip my tea in the video, in the thumbnail. That's why I had to sip my tea in the thumbnail, because this is crazy. This is crazy. But I want to hear from y'all. Would you still purchase luxury brands? Did this turn you off? Because granted, I know it's a shocker to me, but I was someone that already didn't buy too much of luxury. Like my favorite luxury brands are like Coach. Like I love me a good Coach. That does wonders for me. I thought about MCM, but I work from home and I go out when I go out, but it's like it's not really a need for me to just be carrying a $10,000 bag on my arm. I'm the type of person, I get scared. When I have something that's too valuable, I get scared that somebody might get mad at me and take it from me. So keep it low, keep it cute, keep my money with my business ventures, what I'm trying to do, what I got going on. And I definitely would encourage you guys to, if you are someone that is just dosing all your money on luxury goods or spending and splurging on your money on consumption, you need to hold it a little bit to yourself, because we are entering in an uncertainty period during the economy and it could potentially lead into a recession. And I also did some research, and upon doing my research, I realized that they could potentially be trying to cause a recession on purpose, because when a recession happens, that's when the money makers, the wealthy, they get to buy everything up for cheap and continue to foster their riches. So with that research and that knowledge, I'm wondering, are they trying to push a recession on us on purpose so that the rich can continue to get richer? Because everything feels discombobulated and confusing, because it doesn't seem like the current office is doing things to benefit all of us. I didn't understand their approach at first, but now like all of this stuff coming out and the tariff wars and all of this stuff and prices going up, it's like, bro, I think they might be trying to cause a recession, because think about it. They raise the tariffs on China. China gets mad and exposes these luxury brands. People stop buying said luxury brands, causing the spending to go down, triggering a recession. Like all of this stuff goes hand in hand, and I'm trying to put it together into pieces. Let me know what you think. Do you think they're trying to intentionally push a recession so that the wealthy can get wealthier? Because this is crazy. Corporate greed and greed in general is a topic that I do love to dive into, because I think it's so interesting at what lengths businesses, brands, and leaders will go to get more money. It's just crazy to me. So make sure you guys comment and sound off below. How do you feel about everything that's coming out about luxury brands and luxury goods? Are you still buying luxury? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, and even before I sign off, and even with the controversy surrounding the Van Cleef bracelets, people saying that they paid all this money for a Van Cleef bracelet and now it's tarnishing. It does not last long. This is going to entice people to go to their local gold makers and get their gold locally instead of spending money on these luxury brands, because you're essentially paying for a name. The Van Cleef's bracelet and the local gold person, their quality could potentially be the exact same. The local Goldman, his quality might even be better. He just doesn't have the means to charge the $6,000 for a bracelet like the Van Cleef brand does. That's the power of branding. You build a brand up to the point where you can charge whatever for it because you base your brand on inclusivity and who can be able to afford it. And I feel like now where the country is going, people are no longer caring about branding and name brand. They're caring about quality because $1 is hard to make these days. So you have to really take note of and think about who you spend your money with. Are they genuinely giving me quality, or are they forcing me to overpay for a name? And a name is nothing. A name is nothing. A name is words. Okay? A name is literally words. So you have to think, who are you willing to pay? What are you willing to buy? How much are you willing to pay for it? And really think about where your money is going. Because y'all, the time is now to hold your money all close to yourself. Buy what you need. Invest into your businesses. Start a business. If you've been thinking about one, just figure out a way for you to make the money too. Don't let them just solely make money off of you. I know I'm a content creator. I know I'm an influencer. I know I'm all those things. I know I'm a marketer. But invest into yourself first, because that is how you get to make money like the big guys. Investing into yourself, not overpaying for products that are not worth it. Only paying for things that are going to give money and bring money back to you. So I hope you guys learned something from this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was entertaining for you. If you guys want more videos like this where I spill all the beans as a marketer and as a content creator and as an influencer, make sure you sign up below, like this video, thumbs up with your friends. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye!